times it is a true measure of an individual that in spite of the challenges that life presented to him and the family, he never complained. Both whether it was a work situation and the fact that the family had to fight their way back into the kind of professions and the kind of life that they wanted to make for themselves, or whether he had to explore new avenues, he was always willing to try to explore something new, to discover something new, to really pitch his sense and his wits in order to make things better and improve. I'm not sure what gadgets he sent back home. It would have been far cheaper to go out and pay $10 for something and be finished with it. But that was not the solution. As importantly as these few words and the beautiful words from the family, I am struck by the fact that irrespective of how he was feeling physically or the challenges he faced and overcame here, he kept those issues to himself. He absorbed all the tension and he thought his problems through to the best of his ability, never burdening others with what was worrying him at a particular time. I am struck by the similarity between two phrases that appear in the Torah reading for this coming Shabbat, for this coming Saturday, and must make the parallel with the way he lived his life. I quote from the Torah portion in Hebrew, and then I will translate into the English. V'natata ha'aretz pirya v'achaltem lasova. And the land shall be fruitful, and you will eat of its produce until you are satisfied. What Willem did is he made sure that in his own small world of immediate family, that he was as productive and as fruitful as possible, so that his children and their children in turn could go on making lives for themselves which were productive, living confidently in this country. And finally, when we get to the end of the third book of the 5 books of the Torah, which we will do the Shabbat, the congregation as a group responds, Chazak, Chazak, V'nit Chazek, which translated means be strong, and may we be strengthened. If there was one thing about your dad, he was strong on the inside as he was strong on the outside. Yes, there used to be a program many years ago on television, I'm not sure if it was ever seen in this country, it was called Mr. Fix-It. It was about someone who could fix anything. Objects, relationships, but the one thing he could not fix in the end was his own heart, his own physical condition. And for that he relied on the strength and the support and the love of you, his family, and the next generation, your children, who gave him that extra incentive to make of his life the most productive that he could. We were struggling last night to try to establish whether in fact Willem had a Hebrew name, and if he did have a Hebrew name, what that name was. I am completely aware, of course, that there was no real freedom of religion for 50 or 60 years, and even before that in Russia, and even today in the satellite countries around it, it is questionable. And yet we discovered through just talking through the possibilities that in all probability his name was Avigdor. Avigdor is a name of royalty. Avigdor is a name that is not often given at birth. It probably has some connection to family generations that go back maybe 100 or 150 years. But now that we know his name, we understand an interesting thing. And that is that the word or the name Avigdor begins with the Hebrew letter Aleph. Aleph is constructed in a very strange way. It lies at an angle and it has a leg to support it on the one side and an arm that comes out on the other side, as if to try and balance this shaft that runs through the middle. What a wonderful description, what a wonderful coincidence, if you wish, for the fact that that complex looking Hebrew letter was given to him at birth. And by some sheer, we don't know what, somehow seemed to determine part of his character. And the very end of that name, Avigdor, is a resh, an R sound. The letter which in Hebrew, although it has straight angles, has rounded edges. Strong, straight, forthright and upright, yet a man of many talents, who spread those talents and his love across his entire family and this wide range of friends and acquaintances that he made during his time here. Tehei nishmato surah b'tzorah hayim, may his life be bound in the everlasting comfort under God's protective wing.